And hi everybody, welcome into the Manheim Township High School. We are ready to go in the Consolation Semifinals of the District 3 tournament. And speaking of three, this is act number 3 of this drama that we're gonna watch unfold tonight. Hempfield has gotten the better of Township in both of the matchups so far this season, but now the spot in state playoffs on the line, the Blue Streaks are looking to flip the script on the Black Knights. We're glad you're watching here on HSD TV 7. I'm Kasey Kreider. My partner tonight is Dylan Risser. Our producer is Sarah Vanderlaan. Dylan, I'll tell you what, it might not be Wilder Fury, but it's been pretty darn close when these two teams have gotten together so far this season. Two defensive slugfests, both won narrowly by Hempfield. You have to think Township, though, they've been chomping at the bit for an opportunity to get some revenge against the Knights, and tonight they get that opportunity. So what do you think we're going to see tonight?
I think we're going to probably see a lot of defense. That's going to be key in this game, I think.
No doubt about it. You got to think we'll see a lot of Jess Weinelt tonight on Katie Bushong, and that's been the story for Township. They have really not gotten a lot of their traditional offense going tonight, or really throughout the season. In the two prior matchups, Katie Bushong, she's had over half the points for the Blue Streaks, but Township only scored 28 when they met the first time, 19 when they met the second time. If we decrease by that same amount, we're going to be heading for a baseball score here by the end of the night. Baseball's in the spring, but we could be looking at that tonight. For Township, they lost in the district quarterfinals by a score of 44-26 to Central York. And obviously, if you saw the most recent game here on HST TV 7, Hempfield lost to Cumberland Valley 55-26. So no District 3 championship on the line tonight, but a state playoff berth just about as important at this point for both of these squads. And I know these two teams would not pick anybody else they'd rather have a win to get in the state playoffs against. Gonna be fun tonight. Dylan, I wouldn't really say either of these teams have too much momentum coming off those two rough losses. Very evenly matched, which is why we've seen such exciting games to this point between these two squads. If you like offensive basketball, this is probably not the game for you, but if you're a defensive junkie, well, get your popcorn ready. This could be a barn burner.
Yeah, good.
Have to wait and see. We'll get ready for the starting lineups here in just a second as the shoot-arounds get ready to come to an end. And for Township, they are battling one injury. That's the horn scared our producer, Sarah Vanderlaan, to the left of me. But they're battling one injury. Gracie Martin, who we saw in both those first two matchups as the shooter, he is not available, or she is not available tonight. We'll see Aaliyah McLeod get the start in her place. So we'll get the Black Knights starting lineup first, and then the Blue Streaks here. Same starting five as we're used to seeing for Hempfield. Winner goes to the 5th place game, loser to the 7th place game, where they'll have to win or go home to get into state playoffs. Dylan, my one question to you as we get ready to start this game. Lindsay Dakota, she was probably the most valuable player when these teams met the first time, had 12 points. Autumn Cook had some clutch shots at the end of the second game that got Hempfield in this position. Who do you think is going to step up tonight?
I don't know. I'm definitely thinking we're going to see some more out of Lindsay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I agree with that. She only had 5 when they met the second time. Jess Weinelt is the starter. She's going to need a big defensive presence tonight. Lauren Riggs, the senior. There is Lindsay Dakota. Autumn Cook.
And freshman number 32, Lauren Moffett.
And Lauren Moffett. Those are the 5 starters for the Knights, with head coach Kendra Merrifield in her 3rd season. Now it's about to get loud in here. Allie Quinn had a buzzer-beating 3 at the end of the first half when they met here. Katie Bushong, another big night in school. Let's see. It's Aaliyah McLeod starting in Gracie Martin's place.
A sophomore, number
Missy Welch. And Gianna Smith. Those are your starters. Sean Burkhart, head coach. Township does not lack energy, no doubt about that. Alrighty, time for the national anthem here. Let's do it again. Take 3 in Township. It's the home of the Streaks, yes, but Hempfield has had their number so far this season. 2-0 against them in the regular season, 1 win in Hempfield, 1 win in Township. But this with a state playoff berth on the line. Who's it going to be in this first Consolation semifinal game? Governor Mifflin, Dallastown, the other game. Winner of that game goes to the 5th. Loser plays in a winner-go-home game in the 7th place game on Thursday. Alrighty, Dylan, let's get ready to go. Gonna be fun tonight. And it took a little while for this gym to fill up, but it has done just that. And it's about to get just as loud in here as you would expect from the Blue Streaks. Lauren Moffitt, Katie Bushong, they'll be on for the tip-off. And it's Dakota getting in there. Back to Cook. Hempfield gets the opening possession here. Lindsay Dakota just stole it out there from Katie Bushong. Now Dakota looking to Riggs. Back to Cook. Lionel. The Township's bench area, as we've seen in the prior matchups, not taking long to get the energy up. Here's Cook trying to cross over Bushong, pass inside, and Moffitt gets there. And Dylan, I'll tell you what, for Lauren Moffitt, not been a great first postseason for her. That changed right there. Nice start. Katie Bushong down to Quinn. Township goes to work now, down 2-0 here early on. It was Township who struck first blood when these teams met in Township a few weeks ago off of Katie Bushong 3. So what is it tonight? McLeod back to Smith, back inside to Welch, and overshoots Aaliyah McLeod, and Hempfield has it back with an even minute elapsed in this first quarter. Good start for Hempfield, Dylan.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Riggs to inbound though. And these presses played by both teams, we've seen, they're gonna be tricky to get past. Gotta get it across mid-court in 10 seconds or else it's a violation. Cook will do that. Back to Weidel. Weidel trying to get through everybody, and it is Welch who tried to take a charge, but Weidel is called for a travel, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Looks like it's Manheim's ball again.
Yes, it is. Cloud over to Bushong. We've seen a little bit of everything in these first 2 games, Dylan, when these 2 teams have met, and who knows, maybe they'll surprise us tonight. There's a hold on Lindsay Dakota called against Katie Bushong. Opening foul of the game. Cloud will come to inbounds. Back to Quinn. McLeod. Quinn was open for a sec, gets covered up by Cook. Quinn inside, Smith, Moffitt got a hand on it, but Bushong and Weinold and everybody are gonna go to the ground fighting for it. That's a jump ball, give it to the Streaks. As the possession alternates with each jump ball. That possession error will go over to Hempfield now, and the next jump ball will go their direction. Here's Bushong. Gonna try and knife to the basket, and it bounces off the rim, no good, and there for the rebound is Dakota, but it bounced right back to Aaliyah McLeod. And now Allie Quinn. With Welch setting the screen. Smith, McLeod.
Still playing the three-point line.
Yeah. Not letting anything here underneath. Back to Quinn. Bushong. Can Township get anything going? They're not going to let them score inside. At least not what we've seen so far. Welch is covered aggressively now. It's Quinn. Autumn Cook on her. And Quinn bouncing back. Trying to reverse around again, and this Hempfield bench area is maybe getting about as loud as we've seen all season because they have held the Township blue streaks for a while, but that comes to an end now as Katie Bushong draws the first foul of the night. And she will come to the line shooting 2. But what a stand that was for Hempfield, Dylan. I mean, they kept Township on their heels for 60, 75 seconds there. Good
Long
start.
possession for Township.
Yeah. Bushong is no good. That's a surprise for Bushong. Across the prior 2 matchups, she went a combined 10 of 11 on foul shots. This is her first one there. And this is her second one. Bushong is 0 of 2 from the line to start. Didn't think we'd see that. Bryn Axe is in now.
First up to start tonight.
Yeah. Axe is in for Dakota. Here's Weinold. Back to Cook. Cook trying to get Weinold open. Does. Finds Axe. This one is off the mark from just inside, and Gianna Smith will get the rebound. Quinn taking it up. Hempfield's got a race to get back on defense, and they do. McLeod got Bushong going down there in the paint with Weinold on her, and you have a travel called, I believe, on McLeod. Hempfield has it right back, and they are stifling the Blue Streaks right now, Dylan.
Yeah. Hempfield's got quite an influence in the crowd today.
Oh, no doubt. Well, it's not a long drive from Township to Hempfield, but for those who came as Axe, got it away from her. Quinn in there to deflect it, and now Cook's got it back. They got to get it across, though. I don't think they've gotten it yet. Weinold must hurry. And she does get it across. Almost a 10-second violation there. Back to Riggs. Cook is going to try and get it out to Moffitt there. And Moffitt is pressured heavily as Moffitt drives baseline to Cook. And off the mark, no good. But Bryn Axe got it back. Dylan, this is about as ruckus of an environment as I think we've seen all season. Even in the first 2 Township matchups. I mean, you can just tell everybody, the defense has been locked down so far, as we expected. We're 4 minutes halfway through this first quarter. We have 2 points on the board. I don't think we're surprised, but the energy has been outstanding. Here is Riggs from 3, and it's no good. Didn't hit a thing, and that time it's Smith on the rebound. Lauren Riggs has had a 3 in each of the past 2 games. That one did not go. Here is Quinn, and it's no good. Now on the ground, it's going to come out to Hempfield, and now Cook in transition. We'll slow it down.
Taking it to the 3-point.
Yep. And she can shoot it from out there. Weinold, Cook, Axe, across. Riggs gets covered up by Quinn. Here's Riggs, rolling it over to Moffitt, and then it goes off of Riggs. Katie Bushong will take it up now. So give credit to Township's defense. Their offense hasn't done anything, but their defense has been suffocating, as has Hempfield's. Only the first bucket of the game on the opening possession to Lauren Moffitt. Those are the only points right now. And here's a shot that will not go. Allie Quinn airballed that one. Had a 3 in the second, or in the end of the first half when they met here in Neffsville back on the 28th. Had a chance to hit the game tire there at the end. Couldn't get it. That one not a good start. Bushong Quinn only has 4 threes in the season. Real surprising. Riggs somehow get it across there, and Cook, now you got 2-on-1. Axe trying to get to Muffet, but Aaliyah McLeod came racing in there. We saw Autumn Cook have an incredible steal late in that game against Hempfield, or against Township when they met a couple weeks ago. Aaliyah McLeod bringing back shades of that, and Gianna Smith with a jumper to tie it.
Well, if this about how the rest of this game is going to go, it's going to be a close one.
Oh, no doubt. Well, you got to think for Township, I mean, they have to believe, hey, we've only lost these 2 games by 2 each time as Weinhold is off the mark. And then Riggs gives up a foul on the other end. But you got to think for Township, I mean, they have to be thinking, hey, I mean, a couple bounces would have gone our way in either of those games, and we could have swept the Black Knights this season. You got to think that's the talking point, and we heard from head coach Sean Burkhardt earlier in the week, based off some reports we saw. I mean, he said, look, this is a team that owes us one, and he's not wrong. But can Township take advantage of it tonight? It's Quinn to McLeod. Under 2 minutes to go in a fast-paced first quarter. Everybody getting in there. Oriana Edmond had just checked in. She was one of 3 bodies in there. It's 2-on-1, and Cook is fouled with the and 1, bringing back shades of the end of that first game. How things change, how they stay the same. Autumn Cook is just as clutch as ever. What a start.
Indeed.
Alrighty, so Cook
First foul shot
is no good. And that one will go back as they try to complete the 3-point play there and couldn't do it. But Cook still able to get the bucket without or with the foul. Wow. Crazy start. All right. Here's Bushong, and it goes through McLeod fans. She gets back on it. For Oriana Edmond, interesting. She was this team's leading scorer against Wilson, which has garnered her some more playing time. But she did not play against Township when they met a couple weeks ago. She did play in the first, and there's Aaliyah McLeod from 3.
bring this to a 1-point game.
And it's Quinn off the inbound, stealing it away from Autumn Cook. And now that'll go back to Hempfield off of a foul, which is going to get called against, I believe, Bushong. But Township has their first lead of the night. With 1:10 to go. Weinhold races it down, now in a corner. Be careful, look out. Cook, and Riggs had pressure coming from Smith, and that's going to give it back to the Blue Streaks. Lauren Riggs was trying to play a receiver there, and Gianna Smith was playing the defensive back and got some pressure. And now, looks like you have a backcourt violation. Big mistake by Allie Quinn there off the inbound pass. You can't go in the backcourt there when you start in your own half. That gives it back to Hempfield. Bit of a silly mistake there by Allie Quinn. Here is Cook. Hempfield may try to hold a little bit, but not if Township's defense continues to stifle them. Axe is dribbling inside nicely and finally gets it away to Weinhold. Nice job of Axe by controlling that the entire way. Now here's Cook, out, Axe. Things, tries to square up McLeod, drives the baseline and is out of bounds. So Brent Axe tried to skirt that baseline, couldn't stay in bounds. Township has it back, 30.7 seconds to go. So what do the Blue Streaks have dialed up here for maybe their final possession of what's been a wild and a wildly entertaining first quarter? Smith is open, and Edmond's going to get called with a foul. Oriana Edmond was trying to get back in there in time, and now that's the second foul early on here for Edmond. She's going to be in foul trouble. And Gianna Smith will come to the line. 15 seconds to go here. That one is no good.
just misses the first foul shot.
Yeah. And for Township now, I think that makes them what? 0 of 3 now on foul shots so far?
Looks like it.
With Bushong missing the 2, and now let's see what Smith has. That one is true to Fuller. All right. Lauren Moffitt comes back in for Oriana Edmond, who's in foul trouble now with 2. Interesting they have Lindsay Dakota out. She only had 1 foul, but they subbed her out for Bryn Axe. They're going to keep her off for now. They do not want her getting in trouble later. Here is a deep 3. We were on the same wavelength there, Dylan, but Cook had to shoot it there with time running out in the corner. It's no good. 6-4, though, is the score. Township over the Black Knights. And all right, Dylan, what'd you see that first 8 minutes? That was pretty wild.
Yeah. Looks like we're down 2.
Yeah.
And every other game so far has been within a 2-point range.
Yeah.
So.
No reason to think, it can't go the other way. Hempfield, though, in the recent games against Township, have had to come from behind late. Obviously, that fourth quarter, I don't call it a fourth quarter comeback, but they were down there late in the game by a couple points, and obviously Autumn Cook's basket, and then the and one to complete the 3-point play, put Hempfield up by 1. Lauren Riggs made 1 more foul shot to put the margin to the final 21-19 that it wound up being. And it looks like we might be on course for another low-scoring game here tonight.
Possibly.
Unless these offenses really come alive here in quarter number 2 or in half number 2.
And like we suspected, defense has been a really big part of this game.
No doubt.
Long possessions for both Hempfield and Township.
Yeah, and I mean, Hempfield has pressured Township into some mistakes. Township has been pressured by Hempfield into some mistakes. This first quarter of this matchup, I think, has been just as evenly matched as the previous 8. And we wouldn't have expected it any other way. You just have to know, when these two teams, as evenly matched as they are, how big they are, rivalry-wise, you just have to know this is going to be a big game. Dakota is back in now to start this second quarter. And she will try to spin around. Gets a Weinel, but went through her legs. That's tough for Weinel. As Dakota thought she saw Weinel with an opening there, and maybe she would have had it, but couldn't quite get it to her cleanly. There's Bushong across to Welch, finding McLeod. And they get it across. And now Hempfield. Yeah. Very crowded here. Hempfield's going to have to continue clamping down with their half-court defense that we've seen be suffocating at times for Township. But Aaliyah McLeod's 3. She was a bench player for a lot of the season, but the injury to Gracie Martin has resulted in her having to step up. And she had that clutch 3-pointer. 3 of only 6 points right now for Township. Here's Bushong. She will take a 3, and it's no good. That's one part of Katie Bushong's game we've seen in recent games.
Cook takes it.
Both against Hempfield and against others, she has been more willing to shoot that 3 in recent weeks. Here's Dakota, gets it outside the Riggs. And now inside Weinel makes a nice move and floats it for the tie. Jess Weinel loves those floaters. I think that's probably 90% of her points, and that one is somehow kept in by Missy Welch. Throw way down court, and Missy Welch able to keep it in there before it goes out. And now Bushong is no good, but then McCoy is there with the N1. Right when you thought Hempfield was going to get it right back, Bella McCoy jumped back on it, and now she'll have a chance at a 3-point play. That one is on Weinel. McCoy connects. 9-6. Dylan, it's been so intriguing. Those first 2 matchups, the only source of Township's offense, it seemed, was Katie Bushong. Through the first 10 minutes, she has 0 points. But everybody else is finally stepping up. And now that one is going to go out along the baseline and give it back to the Streaks. And now Coach Merrifield would like a timeout and will get it. So, I mean, it's been interesting though. I mean, I feel like, we saw the three-point play by McCoy, the three-pointer made by McLeod, and then 3 points for Gianna Smith. I mean, it's not been Katie Bushong, which is surprising because that's just what we've seen all season from this team, and especially against Hempfield. No other player in the 2 games against Hempfield, aside from Katie Bushong, scored more than 4 in a single game for Township. So it's kind of crazy to think that Township is up right now, even without Katie Bushong being on the board.
Looks like the other players are definitely stepping up.
And now will Hempfield have to kind of adjust their defensive strategy. You know, the mindset, I think, a lot of the matchups we've seen this season have been if you can shut Katie Bushong down, you're going to shut the rest of their offense down. Really hasn't been the case so far tonight. So we'll see what Coach Merrifield told her team in the timeout. Knights are also in foul trouble. They have 6, 1 more for the bonus, and Bushong again overshoots the layup, but Smith is there to put it back in. And Smith has it back as Cook got knocked over, and again another turnover off the inbound. Township is going to have it back again now, I believe.
Let's see how this call turns out.
Yeah. Township will come to inbound it with Allie Quinn. Just a couple killer mistakes for Hempfield so far, but Moffitt gets in there to get it back, and Autumn Cook, the ball handler now, gets back on it, but Lauren Moffitt read that thing like a book. 5:40 to go in the half. Knights down by 5. Got to get a little something going. Lindsay Dakota will go from 3, and it just is off the rim. No good. Now Bushong down court. And again, I feel like we've seen that like 5 or 6 times tonight, Dylan. Same move, and it just spins off. Now Riggs gets it across. Dakota. Jumps.
Dakota for 2.
Yes. 1 possession game again here in Township. And Lindsay Dakota, Hempfield's leading scorer, is now on the board for the first time tonight. So can Katie Bushong answer her is the question. Here is Quinn. Across, it's Welch. Smith. McCoy, and Quinn goes down. Quinn works outside.
Cook on defense.
Yep. Bushong. And again, Dylan, as we've been saying, Hempfield is guarding inside well and making him have to think about shooting a three-pointer, which we've seen once tonight. Ironically, from the only player who's not on the board, or who's not on the floor right now for Township. Here's McCoy, Welch, inside, Smith. Bounce to Quinn, and again, well covered. That's Cook over there. Moffitt on Smith. Back to Bushong. Wynot face guarding her. We've seen that all season. Here is McCoy, makes a move inside Riggs, and then airballs the layup to get it back to Moffitt, and Hempfield will have it down by 3 as we come to the second half of this second quarter. And now Dakota will get it again!
2. Bring this to a 1-point game.
I'll tell you what, Dylan, I was watching shoot-arounds a little bit when we were off the air earlier, and Hempfield seemed to be making a lot of their shots. Lindsay Dakota's proving that she can. And finally, Katie Bushong, same play for the second or third or 7th time. Riggs tries to get it back in, and Bushong's back on it. Riggs had to chase it down. It was way down court. Just had to desperation try and keep it in. Hope one of her teammates were there. Katie Bushong jumped for it. Township's got their 3-point lead back and the ball back. And Bushong is down, and that is going to be a foul called on Wynot. And the coaches are not going to be happy about that, because that's going to put Township in the bonus. And that's something we've seen all season and something we've seen in the matchups before. Katie Bushong, she's so good at drawing those fouls, it can be infuriating at times for Hempfield. And right there, I mean, I think there's going to be debate over whether or not that was really an actual foul. There were, at the end of that game, back on the 28th, a lot of people thought that Katie Bushong might have gotten fouled on that 3 that would have won it, but was not called. It's irrelevant now, though, but Bushong trying to have the last laugh. as she sinks both her free throws, 15-10. And Dakota is going to heave it to Moffitt. All the way down court.
Taking it in.
And it's lost. And now you got Kira Mattis in there, who had just come in trying to fight for the jump, or trying to create a jump ball, and will not get it. Township will have possession, and we see another timeout here taken. That one is taken, I believe, by Township. Well, Township's got a lot of the momentum now with some of their shots. Katie Bushong's finally gotten hot, that bucket, and then the 2 foul shots off the foul that was drawn. And right now for Hempfield, or for Township, they only have 3 fouls, so Hempfield not going to get the luxury of being in the bonus most likely in this first half. They got to try and manufacture some other offense here. Township is going for their entire point total in the second game. In the first half of this first game, they had 19 the second time. They've got 15 so far. And with the way this offense is playing, they got a chance to get it. Here's Quinn, Bushong, taking it across, trying to set up Welch downfield, and now they'll slow it down a little for Quinn. Cook guarding on her. Quinn trying to drive, and a foul. That'll send Quinn to the line for 1-1. That's a foul, the 8th of the half. That has been one of the stories for Hempfield. The amount of fouls they've committed here have hurt them now as we've come to the end of this half. And it took a little while for us to get confirmation on who that was on. It's called on Mattis. No good though. And Moffitt's going to get it back. As there's a push, it looks like they called against Township. They're going for the rebound. That is on Smith. Alrighty, so now Hempfield down by 5. What can they cook up here with 2:43 to go? It's Dakota, who coaches want a double dribble badly. Didn't get it, and Mattis is 3. Yeah, no good. We've seen Dylan at times this season, Kira Mattis, she's gotten an increased playing time, and when she's been in there, she loves to shoot the 3. Her first tonight, though, is no good. Here is Bushong. Trying to fake out Moffitt, and now work back the other way to Quinn. Across, Welch is going to be called for a travel.
Bushong is definitely making her presence a lot more apparent in this
second quarter, yeah. I agree with you, Dylan. She's putting her fingerprints on this one after a quiet first. Here is Cook trying to spin around McLeod, get it out to Dakota. And Mattis is open for a second, then they cover her up. Double cover, she'll try to drive anyway, and it bounces back to Moffitt, who is fouled again. We'll have another and-1 situation.
Let's see if Hempfield can bring this to a 3-point game.
Yeah.
Or 2-point game.
Lauren Moffitt, 62% foul shooter. If she makes one here, it's a 2-point game. As we approach the 2-minute warning, Dakota will come out for Riggs. Interesting, we're not seeing Dakota. I mean, it's very rare we saw her get subbed out in that first game. Or really, as Moffitt's no good. It's very rare we've seen her get subbed out really at all this season. I mean, she's had to come out a couple times, but it's interesting. That's the second time that she's been subbed out, and not really any apparent foul trouble, just maybe to keep her fresh for the end. We'll see. For now, though, back to Bushong. McLeod, yep. Working that outside well. Now Bushong. No good, and Cook, one of the shorter players on the floor right now, able to get tall for the rebound. Mattis is over there, and will try to drive through everybody, and Cook is no good. Going for the time. Now you have a push on Lauren Moffitt that will send Township back to the line. Believe it'll be Missy Welch, who that was called against. Hempfield's really got to be careful now. because one more foul is going to put Township in the double bonus, which means they'll get 2 shots guaranteed no matter the foul. Township's warmed up foul shooting.
Hopefully Hempfield can pull it down with this last minute and 20 seconds on the fouling, at least.
Yeah, that one is no good. Looks like Welch does have 2 shots here, as that one was no good. That one is good. All right, back to a 2-possession game. Actually, she's going to get another foul shot here. Was that a 3-point foul they called there?
Looks like it might have been.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the original call, or didn't think much of the original call. I thought it was just going to be a normal 1-on-1, but I guess refs must have deemed that a 3-point shooting foul. All right, so we'll try to get clarification on that. In the meantime, Quinn is picking off Autumn Cook, and then Bushong cannot believe she missed that layup.
Cook getting it to the other side of the court.
Back to Axe, who goes down hard. And now it's a race. Cook gets it just before it goes into the backcourt. Kira Mattis called for it and got it and drives and passes, and there's a foul called. Blocking foul, I think, will go, looks like, against Welch. And now all of a sudden, we were thinking Hempfield wasn't going to get in the bonus, but one more foul will put him right there. Here's Riggs, open, covered up by McLeod, getting it across and threw it right into the dead spot between the 2 shooters on the right side of the court, Mattis and Cook. Bit of an errant mistake there from Lauren Riggs. Now can Hempfield rebound. Under a minute to go in the half. Quinn gets it out to Bushong. Working back to Quinn. Here's Bushong. McLeod. And bumped into there by Mattis. That is going to be a foul on her. And that will now put Township at the line shooting 2. As the Blue Streaks are in the double bonus.
Potential to bring this, get their other final game score within this first quarter.
Yeah.
Or first half.
McLeod is good. Those 10 fouls for the first half, I think, are the story right now for Hempfield, because Township's been able to make their ensuing foul shots pretty easily. That one is no good. Moffitt for the rebound. 6-point game. And now let's see. Hempfield's going to try and get it back to 1 possession here, entering the locker room. As it's Axe. Mattis. Watch the clock. Down to 10 seconds. Axe to Cook. And in trouble. You got a couple players going down, and then Axe. He goes! Bryn Axe at the buzzer! I don't think she even had time really to follow through. That's going to go for 2, as she was just inside the line. But oh my goodness, Bryn Axe at the buzzer gets this back to a 4-point game. What is it about buzzer beaters, it seems like, in some of these recent games we've done, especially against Township? 18-14 is the score. Blue Streaks up over the Black Knights. Gonna be a fun one when we come back. Dylan and I'll be back to break it down on the other side. For him, for I, and our producer Sarah Vanderlaan, I'm Kasey Kreider, and we'll be back in quarter number 3. And hi everybody, welcome back to the Manheim Township High School, ready to go. Half number 2 here from Township. Bryn Axe's buzzer beater 2 has cut this to a 4-point game at the half. Township up over the Black Knights. And here we go. Wynot will inbound to Cook. Dylan, my first question to you, that first half, it was interesting. We saw a little bit of something different from both of these teams. So who do you think is going to have the advantage here as we go forward in this second half?
It's definitely looking like Township is going to have a bit of an advantage, just because you know, all the potential they have from Bushong, and their whole team seems to have been playing really well this whole first half.
I think that's got to be the key of the first half for Township. Everybody's been getting involved, not just Katie Bushong, but the points have been distributed pretty evenly, and they're scoring. I mean, they have one less point in this first half than they had the entire first game when they met in Township. Now Bushong will try to add to it here, as Moffett was no good on the other end. So Township goes to work. Bushong to Smith. Here's McLeod to Quinn. Across to Bushong. Quinn spinning around Cook, then getting back to McLeod. And Bushong lost control of it for a sec. Quinn is back on it. All the way across to Smith. Got to think for Hempfield, they want to get a stop here. Don't want to give up anything more than maybe a 2 here at worst. Because this is not a team made to play from behind as Aaliyah McLeod.
Out.
Yeah, but I think there was contact there that's going to keep it with Township. McLeod trying to hang on there. So, Manheim Township will get another chance at it. And Bushong, they were trying to set a screen to get her an open 3. Didn't quite pay off. Just Weinelt there on the spot. Didn't see her offensively that much in the first half as Quinn loses it. And down court it's Riggs in transition. Getting there. That was mainly set up by Jess Weinelt. They're getting it away on the other end. And then Lauren Riggs in transition. And now it's Smith on the other side, and you'll have a collision. 3 players go down. Moffett, Weinelt, and Smith are all on the ground, and they all get back up, thankfully. And now the Knights have it back. Riggs is going to chuck it, and you'll have another hard collision. It's Turcotte and Smith, and they both get helped up. Oh, my goodness. And Smith is going to come up with a limp. Hard hits here in Township on 2 consecutive plays. Smith is going to stay out there. Riggs just chucked that thing, trying to have Lindsay Turcotte win a 50-50 ball. Ultimately, it worked. Here's Cook, short. And Smith is there. That one from Cook never had a chance, just didn't quite put enough behind it. Here's Bushong driving, and Smith is short. But Bushong for the putback. Now here's Riggs, back to Turcotte. Back to a 4-point lead for Township. In this third quarter, it's Cook. Working back around the other way, we'll cut
it in.
Through everybody! So the offenses now are becoming the story in this third quarter. 6 points combined, 4 for Hempfield, 2 for Township. To open this quarter up, here's Welch, back to Quinn. Bushong. Weinelt is screened by Quinn, and now it's back to Quinn. And Cook trying to stay with her. You have a charge taken by Lindsay Turcotte.
And that bucket is no good.
Lindsay Turcotte is not afraid to lay her body on the line to draw an offensive foul on Township and get it back for the Knights. Mattis is back in now. But Turcotte finds Weinelt in the soft spot in the press. And Moffett to Weinelt for the tie. Dylan, you're getting hype.
A little bit.
I think we all are. Now what can Township do to answer here? Mattis is going to try to reach in. That's a pretty clear reach-in foul on the other number 10, Allie Quinn. And for Mattis, that's number 3. She's got to be careful, or she may be in foul trouble here. And depending on the situation Hempfield's in, they might want her at the end because of her shooting ability. But she'll stay out there for now. Again on Quinn. This is Bushong. Working back. Finds Quinn again. Inside to McLeod. Now it is Welch. Passing around the arc. Quinn is winding up with it. Covered well by Mattis. Smith. Here's a three. McLeod is no good. And it goes out. Yep, Weinald did not touch it, nor did Dakota. And Autumn Cook will come back in for Kira Mattis. 20 all here in Township. Again, as we've talked about, winner goes to the state playoffs and will play the 5th place game Thursday against the winner of the Governor Mifflin Dallastown game. We'll try to get scores for you for that game at a next timeout. Until then, it's Cook, who is no good. Trying to get the rebound, fights to strip it, and then Township gets back on it. Quinn makes a nice move to get away from Cook and get it across the midcourt. And now Quinn back to Bushong. Spins around, finds McLeod. McLeod's trying to get open for a three, cannot do it. But Quinn is up at the top of the key, inside Bushong. She will jump for the lead. Or will she? Oh. No, she will. Okay, there's a foul on the other end, that's why. All right. Foul that is called. So there was a foul after the basket, looks like, on Gianna Smith. That is her third. So now she's in a bit of trouble, and it's timeout here, taken by Township. Interesting, though. I mean, Hempfield, they've come out swinging. I mean, their offense didn't look great in the first quarter, or first half for that matter, and they've really come out strong here. So too has Township graded. So you get the feeling this is, you know, the first game was somewhat offensive. Second game had nothing of the sort. This one looking a little bit more like that first matchup with the ebbs and flows that we have seen. Alrighty. So back on the court here, let's see. And coming to inbound it is Weinald. Gonna still try and get scores for that Governor Mifflin Dallastown game when we can here. See what that's doing and see maybe who the winner will face. Dakota for the lead is short. And it's Welch there for the rebound. Lindsay Dakota 0 of 2 shooting from 3 tonight. She doesn't really like to shoot. That's not her style, but we've seen that somewhat tonight. Here's McLeod. Over Quinn. Looking. Back to McLeod. Here's Quinn. It's Bushong. Katie Bushong trying to power and draw a foul. That one I think is on Cook. And it will send Katie Bushong to the line. So Bushong will come to the line. And he's no good on the first. And now Bryn Axe will come in for Lauren Moffitt. By the way, we do have scores from that Governor Mifflin Dallastown game, and it's a close one at the end of the third quarter. Governor Mifflin 23, Dallastown 21. Bushong is good, 3-point lead. With 2:13 to go in the third quarter of play.
Looks like we've got close games all around, Kasey.
No doubt. We don't have scores on the semifinal games at this time. If we get some extra time, we'll try and get those for you. Central Dolphin and Red Lion, Central York and Cumberland Valley. In the meantime, here's Weinald driving the entire baseline before getting to Riggs. Axe will jump and no good, but Dakota is there. And now Cook will take another one that doesn't go. And now you'll have a foul back on the other end. I think that's going to be on Axe. She was trying to fight for the rebound. third of the half for Hempfield, first of the game for Bryn. What we've seen all season, though, at least against Township, Hempfield, they've shown a sign to kind of sometimes lull you asleep offensively. I don't know if that's by design, just maybe how the flow of the game's gone. This team plays their best basketball at the end of these games. At least that's the way it's been against Township so far. Quinn is thinking maybe she was going to get called for a travel. Did not, but it didn't matter. Autumn Cook is there on the other end. And Cook is going to try and go all the way down. Instead, Dakota will get through and put a little bit too much behind the layup, but Weidel is going to be fouled. Jess Weidel, the junior, the lone junior on this varsity team, who's got plenty of playoff experience with that girls' soccer team that went to state semis. It's take 2 for her now in these postseasons. First one spins out, no good. 48% from the line was Weidel before that. That one does not go. Almost dropped and just didn't. So Weidel not able to convert the opportunity, and Township has it back. Coming to the end, inside a minute now in this third quarter. Here is Quinn. Working back. Out, that's McCoy. As Gianna Smith is the one on the bench right now. We presume in foul trouble with those 3. Here's Quinn. Township doesn't seem to be in a huge hurry here as they come down to the end of this quarter. If they see an open look, they'll take it. It looks like they're content to wait for now. Coming down to the end, no shot clock in high school basketball, so you can do that. We've seen Hempfield do that in the games against Township so far. Township giving them a taste of their own medicine, but now it's not going to pay off. Hempfield's going to have it back, as I believe may have caught a double dribble there. I didn't catch the call, but it doesn't really matter because Hempfield's got it back now. And now they gotta wait. 5 seconds. And it's Quinn in there to take it back. I don't think it would have gone anywhere. I think it was off before. I don't think it got off before the buzzer, but Allie Quinn tried to fast break to the bucket, race the clock, couldn't do it. Didn't go through regardless. Wow. All right, Dylan, 3-point game, 8 minutes to go. So I'll ask you, for Township, what are they talking about? What do they want to adjust here to try and salt this one away?
If I were them, I would probably want to keep pushing their defense. That's worked out for them in the first quarter, and they can hold off till the end to stop them from scoring, because it is only a 3-point game.
Yeah, no doubt. 1-possession game. And how about for Hempfield? What do they got to do to try and eat into this? They haven't had a lead since, I think, the first quarter. What can they do to, I mean, it's not insurmountable, but what can they do to try and get this back?
Definitely hit the foul shots.
Yeah.
Foul shots are important.
You got to hit those late in these games, and Hempfield has had a tendency to do that in some of the games that we've seen this season. Could be key here. 8 minutes to play. All right. Eight minutes until one of these teams are into the PIAA state tournament. Quinn will start us. McLeod covered well, and instead Dakota is going to be called for a foul. Refs didn't like what they saw. They call her for blocking. That is the third of the game for Dakota. Now she's in a tad of trouble. So those early fouls start to catch up to you.
Yes, indeed.
Back to Quinn. Bushong finds Quinn open. It's back to Welch. Quinn working the top, inside. Dakota got a hand on it. McLeod gets back on it. Everybody on Hempfield's team is trying to force a jump ball, but they'll get it back regardless. As I think it's a 3-second violation there that'll get called on McLeod as she was swarmed in the paint. We see Oriana Edmond in the game right now, along with Moffitt, then Weinelt, Cook, Dakota. Cook, nice pass to Weinelt. Dakota across. Moffitt, inside Edmond. Can she back? Can she get there? No.
Just missing.
Maybe started out for just a little too far back. Autumn Cook tried to get a steal. Couldn't quite do it. Township has it back now. 7 minutes to play. Quinn will take it up again. Back to Bushong, who tries to drive and gets there. Katie Bushong just forklifted Jess Weinelt in the paint and got all the way to the bucket with a foul.
I can't tell if that was luck or just skill.
I think it was a little bit of both. That is the 3rd foul on Weinelt now. She has to be careful. And we've seen her get the better of Bushong a lot. But in that situation, Bushong clearly beat her. And completes a 3-point play. All right. Now Hempfield down by 6, still plenty of time, but they need a little bit of offense.
Yeah, we're gonna need to make some offensive moves.
Yep. And you got 2 of your better players in a little bit of foul trouble with Dakota and Weinelt, both having 3. It's 5 to foul. Weinelt from inside is off the front rim, no good. Quinn is there for the rebound. McCoy. Back to Allie Quinn. Trying to cross over on Cook. Gets it to Smith. Bushong again does not draw the foul as Moffitt is there to poke it away. It goes back to Lindsay Dakota. Knights are back on it. And Dakota will spin inside. Find Edmond, who didn't put enough, but sticks it back. Second chance points. That's where Oriana Edmond can make a lot of damage. She did right there. First of the night for number 30. Here's McCoy now. McLeod to Quinn. A 4-point game. Bushong will jump and get it. Katie Bushong is starting to come alive. 14 of the 28 Township points belong to her. Hempfield must answer if they can't stop her. Moffitt is inside Edmond. She will get called for a foul. And will come to the line. 62% free throw shooter on the season, has a chance to make 2. It's Bella McCoy who's called on the foul.
We need these foul points now, more now than ever.
Yeah. And Edmond, as we mentioned in that game against Cumberland Valley, in that game against Wilson, she had 6 of 6 foul shooting. It was big. And she's 2 for 2 off a couple doinks. 28-24. Township's got to keep the aggression up. Cook got in there and couldn't get back on it. Now here's Bushong with Moffitt. Bushong tried to get through and just didn't finish very strong. Township lucky to get that back. As it's McLeod. Working back. Dakota is putting pressure, as is Cook, on Allie Quinn. And now Quinn will try to drive, get blocked by Edmond. Dakota is chasing Quinn right now. Now here it is, inside. What a block by Moffitt, but it stays with Township by Lauren Moffitt. First couple games of her playoff career were not that great. Tonight, I think, has been a bit of a different story. Not a ton offensively, but impact plays here and there. The freshman has gotten involved. Now McCoy is no good. Smith is there for the rebound. And over Edmond and in! 4:26 to go. It's third time the charm for the Blue Streaks. Can they finally get the best of the Black Knights? Or can Hempfield erase this 6-point deficit with 4:12? Weinelt will take a floater and get called for a shooting foul. She'll come back to the line after going 0 for 2 the first time. Gianna Smith is up to 4 fouls. And with that in mind, we'll see Missy Welch come in for her. Smith doesn't seem to really agree. Weinelt is no good. Welch is in for Township. Weinelt is 0 for 3. Gotta start getting these to drop here. And on cue. Nothing but nylon and a timeout taken by the Knights as it's a 5-point deficit. Neither team has too much of an advantage foul-wise right now, as Township has 6, Hempfield has 5. So we could see this come down to some 1-on-1 shooting with 4:10 to go. But Hempfield, looks like they need a bit of a spark plug right now, something to get them going offensively. What do you think that can be? Do you have to get to a point where you got to tell Autumn Cook, hey, go hit a shot, or Kira Mattis, go hit a shot, Lauren Riggs? I mean, what's the strategy right now?
I don't know. I think we just need to make sure we're hitting our foul shots and we're actually thinking before we shoot.
Yeah. And for Township, you got to think. I mean, this is right where they've wanted Hempfield. And they've been in this position. It hasn't been this big of a lead this late in games. It was, I think, it was either a 2 or 3-point lead there at the end of that game in Township, and Hempfield had a second half surge the first time they played in Landisville. So Township's never really had this big of an advantage over the Knights yet. Can Hempfield answer from this? It's McLeod to inbound. To Bushong. Pressed hard. Weinelt, Edmond, and Cook are all down there, and Cook cannot get on it. It's going to keep it with Township, I believe. Autumn Cook was going for a steal that could have changed this game, and she just about had it. Gotta keep being careful, though. Now Township gonna try and break it. And they do get it across with Bushong. 3:56 to go. Allie Quinn over to Aaliyah McLeod. Back to Quinn, who is gonna be fouled. And if that's Dakota, that's number 4. And it is. Hempfield cannot afford to have Lindsay Dakota foul out right now. It's not been a great night for her. She has as many points as fouls. But just her presence on the court, I feel like, is needed right now. One more foul, she's done for the night. So, with that in mind, she's got to be a little careful. So, too, for the rest of Hempfield's defense to not give anything silly. You have a push. That is on Weinelt, I think. And if that's on Weinelt, that's her 4th. And it is. Hempfield has to get ready. They may have to get some subs, because with Dakota and Weinelt both in foul trouble, I mean, you can't really take them out at this point, but you got to be aware that they can foul out. Bushong does not make the foul shot on 1-and-1, so Hempfield has it back.
Now is a bad time to lose some of our best players.
Yeah, well, they haven't lost them yet.
Not yet,
but you don't want to get them in trouble. Let's see. Cook, Weinelt, Edmond, Cook. 3, it spins out and does not go, but Weinelt is there to try and get the rebound, and they're not going to give it to her, and the fans are not happy. Crowd is up in arms. They thought Weinelt got that cleanly, I believe. It was tough to see exactly what happened down there, but that's not what the ref signaled. Township has it back, 3:07 to go. Edmond is blanketing. You have a blocking foul on her. And I don't think Hempfield can believe it right now. Township is already in the bonus. They've got another chance now at the foul line. Third of the game on Edmond. That's the 18th foul of the game for Hempfield.
Yikes.
Kira Mattis is in for Weinelt now. And it's Bushong again 1-1. And again, no good.
Foul shot.
Foul shooting had been a staple of Katie Bushong's game in the prior two matchups. Not tonight. Dakota spinning, driving, and no good. Off the rim. Quinn is there. Bushong will take it back up. Back to Quinn. Bushong is fouled by Mattis. That is number 4 for Kira Mattis. And it's a shooting foul. And for Hempfield, this is starting to become a bit of a nightmare. They have 3 players with 4 fouls right now. And Township is, for all intents and purposes, in the double bonus now as Bushong makes the first.
And she
Bushong
misses the second foul shot.
does not make it. So it's still a 2-possession game. Hempfield may have to work with the depleted arsenal, and that's not gonna help. Quinn across Bushong. Back to Allie Quinn. Hempfield has to get this back. This might come down to a foul game, and if it does, you just gotta hope the Township doesn't make their foul shots if you're Hempfield. And now blanketing McLeod there. And with that in mind, Coach Burkhardt had to take a timeout. This is not an ideal situation for Hempfield, obviously. 6-point game, 2:12 to go, and a lot of your better players are in foul trouble. But we'll see. It's going to come down to at this point.
This could be an interesting last 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
It could be all about who makes your shots. I mean, Hempfield, I feel like you have to have a 3 in there somewhere, whether it's from Cook or Mattis or Riggs, or even Dakota. Somebody's got to get a 3 here, I think, to really get Hempfield back in this. And then see what happens on the other end. You can't say this one hasn't been entertaining, though, Dylan.
No, we can't.
I'll tell you what.
Lots of energy from the crowd.
A ton of energy. We were wondering how much energy there would be with this being a consolation game, but it's also a rivalry game. Got to keep that in mind. And Governor Mifflin and Dallastown are going to overtime, tied at 35. As you hear there from the PA announcer here, he just relayed the same information we relayed to you. Easy for me to say. Okay, Hempfield needs a stop. Bushong. Back to Allie Quinn. It's Bushong. Over, Quinn, inside, McCoy is there, Mattis could not foul. Mattis could not foul there, or she's out of the game, so she really couldn't do a lot with Bella McCoy, and now it's an 8-point game. Weinelt drives the baseline, does not get there, gets the rebound, and spins out, and it's Moffitt getting there, and Moffitt is fouled. Hempfield will have 2 foul shots in an 8-point game. They're now in the bonus with 1:39 to go. Number 3 for Bella McCoy.
Important foul shots.
Huge. Huge. You got to have both of these for Hempfield. And Moffitt will have the first. Number 2 makes it a 2-possession game again. Dakota is in for Mattis. 4-foul player with 4-foul player. Subbing in and out at this point. That one is no good, and Township gets the rebound. Gianna Smith is there. Now Hempfield needs to get a takeaway. Quinn, push on. Back across, Allie Quinn, covered by Weinelt and Dakota. Neither can foul. McLeod, push on. At this point, fouling doesn't do you any good. You're in a double bonus. Is Township with another foul.
Without a shot clock, they could really just stall for the
Yeah,
next
they
minute and 12
could.
seconds.
Township, or Hempfield does not want to let him do that, but they're just not really, I mean, the amount of fouls they've had in this game have just really killed them. Cook will give a foul there. That's only her second. Now Quinn will shoot 2. No good. Welch is back in for McLeod. Try and play some defense on the other end. Number 2 goes for Allie Quinn, 8-point game. Hempfield needs points, and they need them right now. And will not get it from Cook. And you got a jump ball that will go with Hempfield. Autumn Cook understood the situation, realized she had to take that 3. This is an 8-point game with 63 seconds to go. And all the odds in the world against Hempfield, but let's see. For Township, this would be sweet revenge if they can get a win tonight and go to the state tournament. And for Hempfield, keep in mind, if Governor Mifflin loses and if Hempfield loses, that sets up a win or go home game between the Mustangs and the Black Knights. And the Mustangs beat Hempfield 52-20 early in the season. So that's not something Hempfield wants to have to rely on. Although with Dallastown, how closely they're playing Governor Mifflin, you don't feel like that would be much easier. So Hempfield, you gotta think, gotta try and find some way to try and pull this out here. 8-point game. And Dylan, I think it's pretty simple right now. I mean, Hempfield, you just gotta start getting some shots to fall, and then try to give up fouls with some of your players that aren't in foul trouble. Hope they miss their foul shots and go back to work. But it's going to take a lot at this point. Let's see. Can Hempfield come back?
Going to need to make some threes in order to get us back tied.
They're going to need one, I think, right off this inbound. And I think that might be what Coach Merrifield is drawing up. I think they have to get an easy basket here before this clock gets too far under a minute. Weinel to Moffitt. Moffitt finds Dakota. She'll jump. No good. Weinel for the rebound. Weinel is fouled with 53 seconds to go. Coaches, fans don't like that foul either. Weinel has to make this though. Has to make both of them. And won't.
This is the first one.
Aaliyah McLeod is back in. So no matter what, for Hempfield, they'll give it back with a 3-possession game. That one does go though. And Cook is in there! And then can't get it! Weinhold is gonna get in there, and instead of awarding outright possession, that's a jump ball that will go to Township, and that's huge. Autumn Cook got the steal and had everything she wanted. And now Cook will give a foul the other end. I mean, that's really the only strategy at this point. Send to the line, hope they miss their shots. But you can't do that forever, especially not with the amount of foul shots you got. And the scoreboard here at Township only goes up to 10 fouls, but that's number 11 for Hempfield. And Quinn made it. 8-point game. Shooter Kira Mattis comes in for just Weinhold. Hempfield knowing they need points. Quinn does not make number 2. It's an 8-point game. Hempfield needs something right now. Dakota will jump and get blocked! And Smith is there. And Moffitt gives a foul going the other way, and that might be the dagger. Lindsay Dakota's shot just got blocked, and there's not a lot you can do about that. Gianna Smith comes to the line with this one getting to be all about sealed.
This could seal the win for Township.
If she makes this one, it's a 4-possession game no matter what, and that basically ends it. And does. Goes through Cook's hand. She has to get back on it. Dakota will go down court. Axe takes it from inside. It goes, but it's not for 3. Now Hempfield takes a timeout in what I believe is going to be an 8-point game here. And yes, they do change the scoreboard. They're trying to make sure there was nothing we missed there on the other end. Obviously, the damage is done. I mean, Coach Merrifield, at this point, you still have 30 seconds. I mean, if you could poke an arm in there, try to get a steal, you never know. That's really the only thing she can tell her team at this point. Just get this ball. It's round, it's orange, and you have to find a way to go get it. Some way, somehow. Ideally without giving up a foul.
Let's see if Hempfield can pull this off.
They need a miracle. Let's see. 40 years ago yesterday, or 40 years ago, 2 days ago, was the miracle on ice. Hempfield needs something of that sort right now to have any chance. They send, looks like, McLeod back to the line as Bryn Axe gives up the foul. No good. So Mattis is going to come back in for Weinholt to play some offense here. And Aaliyah McLeod makes the second. Bella McCoy comes back in, 25 seconds to go. Hempfield needs 3 threes and somehow to get the ball back. Cook will take the first and not get it. That one is out. And this third chapter of this rivalry matchup, first 2 ended in the direction of Hempfield. Township is writing the finish to this one. And Cook trying to get on
10 seconds left.
Yeah, I don't think it even matters at this point. I think Hempfield is kind of resigned to their fate at this point as Cook is trying to get in there, and instead Quinn is caught for a travel, but it's not going to matter with 3.5 seconds to go. Hempfield's going to have time for a heave, and even then, well, those aren't worth 9 points. Mattis ends it, and the Manheim Township Blue Streaks are moving on to the PIAA state tournament. 38-29, the final score over the Black Knights. And Township will be at least one LL League team in the PIAA tourney. And we do not have the final score from Governor Mifflin Dallastown yet, as that game went into overtime, but we'll see who Hempfield plays. That will be a win-or-go-home game, the 7th place game on Thursday, either at Governor Mifflin or at home against Dallastown. Have to wait and see. Dylan, any final thoughts on what we saw?
Well, it looked like we just couldn't pull it through right at the end.
Yeah, it was tough. Township finally executed there at the very end. They got a lot of players involved tonight, not just Katie Bushong. And that was the key. Township 38, Hempfield 29. That's your final. The Blue Streaks are into the PIAA tournament. Hempfield faces a win-or-go-home game on Thursday. With that in mind, for my producer, Sarah Vanderlaan, colleague Dylan Risser, I'm Kasey Kreider. You've been watching Hempfield Black Knights girls basketball on HSD TV 7. We will see you on Thursday for the 7th place game to see if Hempfield can get the States.